Great Rod Race saw myself and Mick Brown trying to catch over 40 species of fish in 30 days. Our latest challenge sees us going from the west coast of Ireland to the east coast of England in a tiny camper van. We've got 30 days to do it, 700 miles to cover. It's a pound of fish for every mile that we travel. Welcome to the Greater Rod Race. Well, here we are. This is Killary on the west coast of Ireland, one of the wettest places in Ireland in actual fact, and it's already living up to its reputation. If you want to see where we are, then check out on the map the town of Westport. We're quite near there, and as you can see, this is an estuarine area, beautiful coastal scene. Around about 592 miles in a direct line, Mick, according to the sat-nav, from Journey's End. Now, that's in the east of England, in a town called Lowestoft, but of course it won't be 592 miles, because I reckon that with all the deviations that'll take place in between, we've got something like 800 pounds of fish to complete the journey from here at Killary all the way across to Lowestoft. That's going to be difficult in its own right, and what else is going to be difficult is catching enough fish off this beach area here to get us to our next location, which is Marm at the top end of Lough Corrib. Now that's about 20 miles away, so that means we've got to catch about 20 pounds of fish here at Killary, so fingers crossed. This is absolutely stunning, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
When you think about all those Mediterranean beaches and the concrete jungle and the people packed like sardines, we're the only people on this beach.
Yeah, it's marvellous, isn't it? The only trouble is, mate, where'd you buy an ice cream?
Well, we've got too many fish to catch to worry about ice creams. As long as it's got fins and the combined weight is 20 pounds of the catch, I don't care what we get. Because our shore fishing experience is so limited, I thought maybe we might need a little bit of help here on the opening leg. So I've got a couple of the local boys. They brought with them some good tackle and some bait.
Yeah, sounds good to me, mate.
Well, this is it, our fishing spot, and actually it's a pretty comfortable fishing platform, you know, because although we've got some rocks to scramble down here, they're certainly not too sharp, and it's fairly easy to get down to the water. We've got a nice grassy platform above, and then in terms of the habitat, we've got a rock shelf in front of us, which is an ideal place to sort of intercept fish that might like the rocks, and then clearer water much further out, so that'll hold different species of fish. Now, as we've already said, we know very little about shore fishing, so I've recruited a couple of local experts. I'm talking about Fergus and Ben. I've had a bit of a chat with the boys about what we might expect to catch, and the basic consensus of opinion is that we're looking at dogfish, rays, probably thornback rays, and then the possibility, if we fish closer in, nearer to this rocky shelf, of the odd marauding conger. So those are the three main species. Well, I can't think of a better place to start, really. Let's just hope that the fish bite.
Well, I've never really done this sort of fishing before. I've had a go at it, but never been very successful. So cobbled something together which I think might work. And it's a simple paternoster setup with a short hook link and a long bomb link. Now, I've got a 5-ounce gripple head, which I know is right because I've seen you using that on your rod. I take it it's got quite a few functions, really. Perhaps you could run me through that.
Well, the fish takes this, the grip head will hold, and when you pull it, these will open up.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Come back.
So it's a very sophisticated bit of equipment, that really. Now let's have a look at the hook link and the bait. Now you've used a small piece of sand eel there, and first of all I noticed you've used quite a small hook. Yeah. I've embarrassed myself by bringing a rather large hook. You'd use a hook that size for conger, would you?
Conger, yeah.
But not for dogfish?
Not for dogfish, no.
So that can go back in the bag?
Back in the bag, yeah.
Right, so you put a size 1 on for me, piece of sand eel, but what's this here? You've tipped it with a piece of mackerel?
Piece of mackerel, yeah. Make it more enticing, you know.
Oh, I see. That sort of draws the dogfish into the end where the
more
hook is.
scent coming out of this end.
Yeah, and you reckon with this setup I might be able to cast far enough?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll have a go anyway. You know me, game for anything.
Oh, well.
See what I can do.
The crowd has gathered to witness the marvellous event. Sir Michael, about to give a fine demonstration of beach casting. Oh, it's a fine effort. I'm proud to be your fishing partner. Here's our close-in rig. We've got a strip of mackerel on the bottom hook, and above that, a smaller strip of bait on the top hook held up with a poly ball. I'm not going to fish this one very far out because there's a rocky shelf here, and this is the sort of place where you might find a bigger fish like a conger, so it's not a long cast, and if this rod goes, it could be a big bonus fish. I don't think that was too bad, actually.
Oh, that was a massive cast, wasn't it?
Well, I don't think that was too bad. Now, as you can see, we've got a few rods here. I'm fishing with two, Mick's going to fish with two. This rod is out in the centre of the bay where the ground's a lot clearer than inside, so it's a good rod for things like dogfish and rays. The quicker it comes, the better, really. It's a long journey and time's of the essence.
I've had a bite at last and I've got a fish.
Got one on me.
I've got a feeling that it's come off.
Mick's not only lost the fish, but he's also got his rig stuck in the rock.
I've lost you a lead there, haven't I, Fergus?
So look at it. Yes, there's a fish on.
Worse will happen yet.
Come on, come on.
It can get a lot worse than this.
It is an eel. Oh no! Probably 3 or 4 pounds. That's 3 or 4 miles, isn't it?
I could see what was going to happen.
It's a bit of a gutter, actually.
See, it wasn't your fault.
I can't get it up to the surface. Oh, snapped another one. Well, this is an absolute disaster. We might be here till midnight in about 3 days' time. Well, I've just had a bite on this rod here. There's definitely some weight there, but I can't figure out what at the moment. I'll just scramble down. I can feel something, but it's not kicking back very hard. There's so many rocks down in front of us. I can see something there. Yes, we're off the mark. May not be the most sporting fish in the world, but we've got a mile on our journey, or two. This is a dogfish, and he's been nailed right in the front of his snout. And just pop the hook out, there he is. Interesting fish this, they're very wiry. They're a member of the shark family actually, or sharks and rays to be more specific. They're often a nuisance actually when you're fishing for other species, but today anything goes, and I reckon that's about 2 pounds. You can see where the relationship comes with a shark because they've actually got quite sharp teeth here, filled with row upon row of very, very sharp, albeit small teeth. It'll give you a good nip, that would. As far as I'm concerned, this little chap is worth his weight in gold. Fantastic, we're off the mark. You're not having this for your dinner. Had a bite there. Yeah, I've got a fish on. Now, we've already got 2 pounds on the board, so any contributions are gratefully received. I must say, actually, this fish feels a little bit heavier. It feels like a decent weight, and that could be absolutely wonderful news for us. Here comes the fish. And it looks like a ray actually, not a big one, but it's more points on the board. He's kind of got a little bit wrapped up in the rig. He's taking his tail round it, but there you go. Now this is a thornback ray. As you can see, it's covered in these thorny appendages across its back and along its wings. They're very, very sharp. It's beautiful colours though, look at that. It blends in perfectly with its environment. It can actually change colour to match the bottom, and you can see the thorns all over it there. It's a very unusual fish. It's got an underslung mouth. It scoots along the bottom and it kind of forages around and feeds with that underslung mouth. Well, I think maybe I'm going to give myself about £1.5 pounds for this. I think not a particularly big fish, but it's another 1.5 miles on the board, and got to be grateful for everything that we get, I think. We're currently 16.5 pounds short of our target. We're going to put this little fella back. The ray swum down to the bottom now, and look at him. He's changed colour, and he's actually become a perfect colour match for these rocks here. If I was standing on top of this rock now, looking down, I didn't know there was a fish there, I think that was a rock on the bottom, the perfect camouflage. I think that's amazing.
I don't fancy fishing off here in the dark, so we'd better really step it up a bit, mate. Well, I think we've got a proper fish on now.
Well, I thought there was nothing on this, but there is.
We desperately need to get this one on the bank.
This one's got to come in. And I'll tell you, these fish are worth their weight in gold.
Yes, we needed that one.
It takes the total up now to £5, and that is 5 miles, folks.
Fergus reckons it's about £3. That takes us up to £8 now. That's perfectly blended in with the rock then.
Every rod counts now.
Well, I've just changed one rig over for a conger.
Everybody conger. Now, we just had a right old wrap over then, a real good bite. But we're up to £13.5 now, and this fish could be really important. But that's very, very valuable points again.
Weigh that one, Matt. £1 13 ounces.
It looked like it was striking into a marlin, never mind a dogfish.
Oh, that's got to be £2.
Super. What does that take us up to? About £15?
15 and a quarter now, Matt. Right, I've had a dogfish and it's £2 1 ounce. Do you want to put your one in there with it?
Well, we're just checking now that we're not cheating ourselves or the public by estimating these fish, because I've been saying these are 1.5 this size, okay? So you know you've got one of £2 in the bag.
Yeah.
There you go.
About 3.11. So
I'm bang on then.
You're £1 10, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm bang on.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 more dogfish. That's another £3.5.
Yeah.
That takes us to £11.5 in the bag.
Yeah. You know, I think if we fish hard until dark, we might just be out of here today.
Cooking on gas, son.
Well, I've just checked the scores, mate, and we need 2 3/4 pounds before we can move on.
Well, let me... Oh, no!
Oh, well bent into one here, and at the moment we're looking for about 2 3/4 pounds to get us on our way to Corrib, and this doesn't feel too bad actually. Well, I thought it was heavy. I've got 2 fish on. Oh well, we've definitely done it here if I can get these 2 on the bank, Nat. We've got 2 dogfish together. Yeah, there's one for everybody.
Well done, Sir M. A fine achievement.
Have you noticed with dogfish, they close their eyes when you get them on the bank?
Yeah, they do, yeah. Do you want me to deal with this one?
Yeah, please, mate.
Okay.
They are strong fish, aren't they?
They're very wiry. They're little sharks, that's why.
Yeah. That one's in the bag.
Well, I'd like to add the second. That's him.
Right. Pop the second one in.
Okay, buddy. There you
What
go.
do we need?
2 3/4.
2 3/4,
Yeah.
and then we can move.
And I'll tell you, my son, that we have
£3.
£3. So what does that make the total, Nick?
20 1/4.
So we've done it, mate.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
that's absolutely brilliant. But do you
20
think
and
maybe
1/4.
we should try and get a couple of pounds on the keep net?
You know me, I don't need persuading to carry on fishing. I reckon I've got another £2 here. We'll call that one a pound, shall we?
The light's closing in. I think that'll do us.
Yeah, we'll call it 32, yeah?
Yep.
Right, Matt, I've just plotted our course on the GPS and it's exactly 20.72 miles to where we want to get to on Corrib tomorrow.
Well, that's interesting because actually I've got our clapperboard here from our results earlier today on the beach, and we've got 32 3/4 pounds. So it means we can go to Corrib, keep £12 in the keep net, which is very important because I think we're going to struggle on some venues. We've got over 500 miles to do, probably more like 800 when you take into account the deviations. Tomorrow we're course fishing, so we're probably going to need plenty of this stuff. We've got ground bait in every orifice of this van, folks. This is a bream ground bait, absolutely perfect, because tomorrow on Corrib, I think we're going to be fishing for roach, bream and hybrids. And let me say, if it goes anything like today, I'll be absolutely delighted. But for now, Sir M, I think we will bask in our reflected glory, enjoy a cup of tea and see what the morrow brings.